global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Global Happenings Today YouTube channel. It's getting quite very messy in Rivers State. Elder statesmen are beginning to call out. A lot of things happened some few hours ago during the protest that took place in Rivers State. Something very unusual. It has never happened in the history of Nigeria and protesting in Nigeria, of which is now beginning to cause concern for elder statesmen in Rivers. Now, please, our advice, listen to this video to the end. Now, this letter was written, an open letter to the president. Now, it was written some few hours ago. His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, State House, Abuja. My dear President, Chief Clerk beseech President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to halt the threatening political crisis in Rivers State. Now, I wish to congratulate you for your prompt action taken by the presidency to dose the political tension in Rivers State. Mr. Ajure Ngelale, Special Advisor Media to Mr. President, disclosed the president's position during an interview on TVC on Saturday, the 11th of May 2024, some months back, and has been warmly received by Nigerians, particularly Rivers State. And the crisis is no doubt will gradually die down if the statement is upheld by the presidency, and it will enable us to face the security problem in other parts of the country. But according to the presidential media aide Ajuro Ngelale, he said, "I believe that anyone who believes that by their actions, whether it's from the federal level, state level, or the legislative branch in the state, or the legislative branch in the state, or the executive branch in the state, if they are banking on Mr. President to take sides on this matter, they are mistaken and they will be disappointed. I am now 97 years, and by the grace of God, while I may be in my last journey, I have therefore deliberately decided to address the River State issues historically, factually, and courageously, without fear or favor to anyone, in the interest of Nigeria, as a result of your Minister of FCT, Wike's continuous threats to remove from office the elected governor of River State. Your Excellency, you have done what was expected as the father and the president of Nigeria. We are all happy to know that with the statesmanship statement from the presidency, the tension in River State good governance is gradually dying down and the peace and good governance is returning to River State. Mr. President, we all know you as an experienced and matured politician, and historically we have bravely passed through this way before when democracy was introduced in 1999, and therefore, Mr. President, know what I'm talking about. I'm confident and proud to say that I have known you for many years, even though we have never worked together. But in our various positions, we successfully fought against anti-democratic policies of President Olusegun Obasanjo's regime between 1999 and 2007, and I developed special admiration for you when you boldly and courageously spoke against President Olusegun Obasanjo's interference with the state local government system. You are therefore responsible for the growth and wealth of Lagos State today, and Nigerians all over the country admire you because you never compromised your constitutional right as provided in Section 5, Subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution of Nigeria as amended, which gave you the power and authority to manage the affairs of Lagos State because the Constitution recognized the autonomy of the state and they are not subsidiary of the federal government. What changes now? Yes, Wike has deliberately made a plan with the River State members of National Assembly to stagger their Thanksgiving service and reception for over a long period of time, where he will always have the opportunity to criticize the government of River State and harass the governor because the governor must accept him as a political leader of River State. It must be remembered that these National Assembly members took oath of office in June 2023, a situation which we now found ourselves by Mr. President allowing Wike to rule River State from Abuja while he is no longer the River State governor, and at the same time performing his job from Abuja undisturbed as Minister of FCT is unacceptable. Hence, we are legitimately resisting it. Wike was, I take that again, Wike and the 27 former members of the Assembly and the so-called chairman of the APC Caretaker Committee, River State, Mr. Thani Okocha, have been issuing inflammatory and provocative statements, harassing the governor to the extent that he recently threatened to impeach Similayo Fubara, the governor of Rivers State. Another divisive and provocative statement made by Yesobike was on Sunday, 7th January 2024, during his confession having handed over in the impeachment of the governor because of the governor's hand to impeach the former speaker and some members of the Rivers State House of Assembly. He continued his public outburst at a so-called Grand New Year luncheon at the banquet hall of his private residence in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Speaking on the Rivers crisis, he said, "Ask people why this matter came to this level. When people went and plotted the removal of the speaker, you think we would fold our hands to remove the speaker on an Obiokpo son?" But unfortunately, he miscalculated when he directed the speaker, his kinsman, Right Honorable Martin Samuele, and the 26 members to defect from PDP, the political party that sponsored them, to the APC that does not have a single member in the Rivers State House of Assembly, gleefully singing APC song and waving APC flag. They did not realize that by their action they automatically lost their seat in accordance with the 1999 Constitution as amended and a series of Supreme Court judgments on the same matter. And the remaining 4 members of the Rivers State House of Assembly who did not defect also went to court, since the former speaker, Martin Samuele, was also included in the defection, who later became the speaker, went to court where the court confirmed his defection, that those who defected, including the speaker, have lost their seat in the State House of Assembly, and also approved Martin Samuele as the new speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, who thereafter duly informed the chairman of the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC), Professor Mahmood Yakubu, about their decision. There is a strong evidence that APC, under the leadership of Tony Okocha, held a very successful reception where the defected members of the Rivers State House of Assembly were received into APC with fanfare. Now, recently, when he was addressing the former lawmaker representing Ogunbolo constituencies in the House of Assembly who defected from PDP to APC, Wike declared that, "Let me say this clearly, Arnold, don't be frightened that anybody would remove you as an assembly member. Nobody will remove you as an assembly member. Most of you don't understand this politics. It's our work. What I'm doing is to make them fear, to make them angry. I have no other job than to make them angry every day, to make them make mistakes every day, and they will be in trouble every day. So don't worry about yourselves." Mr. President, you can see clearly the wicked and mischievous confession of your minister, Nyesom Wike, sabotaging the democratically elected governor of Rivers State and his legitimate administration in order to bring down the government because he wants to be the leader and continue maintaining his structure in Rivers State. Nyesom Wike has definitely danced naked in the market with one leg in PDP and the second leg in APC, using the 2 legs to create crisis and insecurity in his own state, Rivers State, and it may be too late for Mr. President to discover him. The PDP, from which the so-called 27 defected members of Rivers State House of Assembly, was in the same position like Labour Party in Ondo State, no split, no faction. In fact, Nyesom Wike and Governor Similayo Fubara of Rivers State attended a full caucus meeting of the PDP and NEC meeting of PDP held at the PDP headquarters on Thursday, 18th April 2024, and both the acting national chairman, Umar Damagum, and the national secretary, Samuel Anyanwu, from Imo State, who the so-called 27 members cited as a division in PDP because the secretary was in court against PDP at the time. So the so-called 27 members terribly miscalculated and they automatically lost their seat, and there is no provision in the constitution for that. There is no provision, I tell that again, there is no provision in the constitution for them to return back. Therefore, the new strategy mischievously being adopted by Nyesom Wike and his co-travelers is to arrange with the PDP acting national chairman and his legal advisors to obtain an injunction in favor of the 27 former members of the Rivers State House of Assembly that they were still members of PDP because they did not follow due process when they defected from PDP to APC on Monday, 11th December 2023. Mr. President, even though you trusted Nyesom Wike to the extent of appointing him as the Minister of FCT, you did not really know who Nyesom Wike is. At this junction, with the kind permission of Richard Akilola, a well-known columnist in one of his columns, narrated who Nyesom Wike is to the average Nigerians, even though you must have heard the same from your capable and intelligent media officials. Wike is only loyal to himself and nobody else. Irrespective of his fringed allegiance, he may kowtow and genuflect before a political leader he is currently doing in Abuja, but once he can no longer use you, he goes into a fit of incoherent, vituperative verbal assault, denigrating his benefactors. Almost everything that Nyesom Wike has said in public has been repudiated by him. Nyesom Wike is indeed a man of contradiction and inconsistency. From the PDP primaries, where he vowed to support whoever emerges as candidate, to his vow not to be a minister, to his cutting excoriation of the APC, which he likened to a cancerous party. Everything Wike supposedly stood for had been repudiated by his fickle-mindedness. With the exception of Governor Melford Okilo, who was the first civilian governor of Rivers State in 1979, when Nyesom Wike, only 12 years old but was still in primary school, he had condemned every other governors and presidents who trusted him and contributed to his becoming local government chairman of Obiakpo, Chief of Staff to Governor Rotimi Amechi, Minister of State Education by President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, and as a governor of Rivers State also by President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan and his wife Dame Patience Jonathan. But today he has abandoned them. The continuous activities of the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory FCT and the immediate past governor of Rivers State, Mr. Nyesom Wike, are clear indications that he is not ready for peace in Rivers. As a former governor yourself, who suffered under the heavy hand of President Obasanjo and held your fund for several years, you can appreciate the unnecessary pressure and distraction which the governor is going through by having a very high-handed former boss breathing down on him with federal might. Let me ask, if not for federal might, on what basis would the former members of the State House of Assembly, who publicly declared to all a change of political party, we are seen carrying the flag of your party and singing the song of your party, still claim to be members of the Assembly? Is this not contrary to Section 109, Subsection 1G of the 1999 Constitution, an extant Supreme Court judgment as I referred to earlier? If not for the presumed federal support, on what basis will local government chairmen whose tenures have expired refuse to vacate office? If not for federal might, on what basis will Nigerian police, whose duty is to keep law and order, take over the premises of the local government secretariats in the name of protecting law and order? If not for federal might, why are former local government chairmen still parading themselves to be in office, granting interview, carrying out demonstration, and enjoying very, very visible police protection? If not for federal might, why would the police stop the duly constituted local government caretaker chairmen and workers from accessing the premises to perform their duties? If not for the supposed federal might, why is the judiciary now in total confusion and the contradictory judgment flying everywhere? Let the truth be told to you, Mr. President. Nyesom Wike is not ready is not ready for any form of peace. Therefore, I call on you once again to caution Mr. Wike and call him to order in the overall interest of Nigerians to allow the elected governor, similar to Fubara, whom Nyesom Wike claimed he made to govern Rivers State peacefully. Now Nyesom Wike is dancing around President Bola Ahmed Tinubu like an urchin singing nursery rhyme in his glottal and hoarse voice. President Tinubu, on your mandate, I stand. On your mandate, I stand. President Tinubu. Wike is not standing on any mandate. He's standing on his opportunistic position as a minister. If at the end of his tenure as minister, let us see whether he will still be singing on your mandate, I stand. Finally, Mr. President, I humbly submit that given my age and status as a senior citizen of Nigeria, I cannot accept on behalf of my people any actions that undermine or violate the provisions of the 1999 Federal Constitution of Nigeria as amended. As you well know, I have served this country in different capacity, including serving in the same cabinet with three colleagues at the time, General Murtala Mohammed, Alhaji Shehu Shagari, and General Olusegun Obasanjo, all of whom later became president of this country. That some of us have kept quiet on issues such as this is not because we are afraid to speak out, but for the respect and support which you have for your office. I have seen a lot in politics, and governance, both in Nigeria and around the world. What may seem irrelevant to you today can become a major difficulty to the government in no time. As one old enough to be your father since you are only 73 years old. Hey, as one, I take that again. As one old enough to be your father since you are only 73 years old, I advise you again, let this small fire in Rivers State be quenched immediately and not allowed to configurate further. Specifically, I am calling you, I'm calling on you to trend the path of great honor as a self-professed Democrat in bringing the very troubling situation in Rivers State to an immediate end. This is not because not doing so will appear as the proverbial Caesar sitting on his horse when Rome was burning. Let me remind you that the situation in River State is like a banana peel, and if nothing is done early, could engulf everywhere. Once again, I want to express on behalf of our people in the South South our profound gratitude and appreciation for the patriotic and authoritative release from the presidency concerning the present situation in River State. Before I end, I thank you for the very gracious message of congratulation which is sent to me on the occasion of my 97th birthday, and in fact it was largely publicized both nationally and internationally. Let me assure you of my continued prayers as you steer the ship of our nation. Thank you and God bless. Chief Dr. Edwin Hiagbodo Clark, OFRCON, leader and convener, Pan Niger Delta Forum, PANDEF, former Federal Minister of Information and Senator of the Second Republic. I hail you, sir. We cannot go ahead to continue to analyze this. Please let's meet in the comment section.
Global happenings today. We communicate.